Good art is often made through collaboration. Even if we attribute pieces of art to one person's vision, there's usually an entire team of people working tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure that that piece of art is as good as it is. This is especially true of movies and albums. Even books have to go through an entire editorial process before they reach publication. And I think I would argue that this is usually the case for video games as well. Almost every popular video game is the result of a studio effort. We might credit individuals for good writing or art direction, but all of our favorite video games are made by entire teams of people. I don't know if it's the same for music and movies, but video games actually do have a history of individuals breaking into the mainstream by having some sick idea. I think notable examples that come to mind are like Fez and Lethal Company. Lucas Pope, the developer of Papers, Please and Return of the Obra Dinn, also comes to mind, but the point is, even though they do happen, these success stories are few and far between. This isn't even mentioning games like Five Nights at Freddy's, or arguably the most successful individual success story in gaming, Undertale. And all of these games hinge on some kind of original, well-executed gimmick. Fez is a 3D game disguised as a 2D one. Papers, Please makes immigration fun. FNAF is like, it's a whole different beast. The point is, no other game previously did what these games were able to accomplish. They're some of indie video games' greatest hits because of that one special thing that they have. That is not true for Animal Well at all. Hey. It's me again, and I just got done playing a banger of a video game. A game developed by this beautiful man, and published by this beautiful man. Beautiful, gorgeous, sexy, gorgeous, beautiful, dreamy men aside. Having your game published and advertised by a really famous YouTuber also helps. I'm not denying that, but I absolutely think this game has enough artistic merit to just stand on its own. Would this game have reached the heights that it did without the help of somebody already really famous? Probably not. Does that matter? Also probably not. Billy Basso, which is a great name for a human, and also probably like a hardened trout detective. Billy Basso put so much love and care and effort and time into the final version of this game that I think it would have absolutely been fine on its own. But that's not the point. The point is, Animal Well doesn't have one central gimmick or mechanic or hinge or whatever that all of these previous one-man shows had. I think what I'm trying to say is that instead of siphoning something entirely new into existence, it builds upon what was already there. So, and I am sorry for this, but in order to talk about how this game is as good as it is, I think we need to do a brief history lesson. I'm going to give myself 40 seconds to explain to you. Okay, Nintendo releases Metroid in 1986, and Konami releases Castlevania 2 in 1987. Metroidvania. Wow. A new genre is created, characterized by large, open, 2D worlds that you gradually explore while gaining new abilities. Both franchises continue to refine the formula late into the 90s, and then by the early 2000s, they are both the dominants in the genre. This is until 2004, when BAM! Cave Story is released. These continue to remain the stark examples of the genre, while the genre goes on a little bit of a hiatus until the early 2010s. During this time, people are still trying to figure out what the fuck a Metroidvania even is. This persists until the early 2010s, and then when every indie developer under the sun is like, holy shit, we figured it out, and then they start spamming the print money button. Axiom Verge and Ori came out in 2015, and since then the genre has been incredibly popular for indie developers to tackle. Boom. Did I do it? And that is the entire history of Metroidvanias. I did not miss a single thing. Okay, fine, let's talk about... Focus on the goddamn fox, not the fucking fence. I don't care about the fence, I care about the fox. It's my spirit animal. Look at that motherfucker. The hat is, I'm taking it. If we're going to talk about the new King of Metroidvanias, we have to talk about the old King of Metroidvanias. Hollow Knight still is the King of Metroidvanias for me, and it probably will be until its sequel, Silksong, comes out in November of 2063. That would make the title of this video a lot more confusing, so Animal Well is the next great Metroidvania to fucking sue me. Hollow Knight is a game I don't really talk about enough on this channel, considering it's one of the greatest video games ever. I promise we're gonna get into the actual video in a second, just let me tweak for a few minutes. I think Hollow Knight has beaten all of the Metroidvanias that have come before it through three main factors: the world, the combat, and the progression. Dude, the world of Hollow Knight is unmatched. And despite the contained nature of this game, by the end of it, you still feel like you've gone on a crazy globe-trotting adventure. I still think about individual characters and areas from this game, like the reprieve of the bench rooms, or the echoes of the City of Tears, or Deep Nest. Fuck Deep Nest, bro. Deep Nest is not getting invited back to the function. The other half of Hollow Knight is, of course, the combat. Some of the most exhilarating and adrenaline-pumping battles I have ever been a part of in video games, and I'm Town Hall 9 in Clash of Clans, so that's saying something. The simplicity of it, combined with how difficult the bosses get, it's just a perfect Venn diagram. Oh my god, there's a wasp. Yo, I didn't think about the possibility of bitches showing up to the function. But I think the hallmark of any actual good Metroidvania game is how smooth the progression feels. These games intrinsically rely on one of the worst game mechanics in gaming ever: backtracking. If your game relies on the player gradually moving back and forth between the same space over and over again, how do you make that fun for them? Hollow Knight has a pretty intuitive fast travel system in the form of the Stagway stations, but also your character gets so much more faster and the movement so much more fluid as you progress. Dashing and double jumping and literally flying for as long as you want to. You don't have access to these tools at the beginning, but when you get them, it makes traversing through those old areas you've already played through that much faster and less tedious. There hasn't been another game like Hollow Knight since Hollow Knight, and there probably won't be until its sequel comes out after the heat death of the universe. So, okay, I don't think the king is going to get dethroned anytime soon, but there's still room in his royal court, I would say. And if Hollow Knight is the king, Animal Well's the prince. I think Hollow Knight is successful because it refines all of the aspects of the Metroidvania genre into the perfect modern formula. Those three things are also what makes Animal Well so successful, but instead of a focus on combat, there's a focus on puzzles. Hollow Knight's about having the technical skill, both in movement and in combat, to get from one area to the next. Animal Well is about having the mental prowess to figure out how to get from one area to the next. There's no combat in this game. I mean, there's technically boss battles and fights, but you don't rely on a gun or a sword. You rely on how quick your mental faculties are. Every room and area in this game is like a puzzle in itself. There are new mechanics to use and secrets to uncover, and as soon as you figure something out, they flip it on its head and say, here you go, dickhead, figure it out all over again. There are no tutorials, there's no hand-holding, there's no dialogue telling you what to do every 5 minutes. It's just you, your wits, and the magical world that's in front of you.
I'm going fishing with my shit. What the fuck? Oh, I need this guy too. I need a lure. Get a lure. Fucking, I got an achievement for that. Right, it is dark as fuck in here, bro. Candle. Oh! I just get like my remote out and just start like spamming everything. Just no fucking way. It sucks that I'm on one. Is this a donut?
Out of all of the Metroidvania worlds that I have explored, Animal Well is like top 3. Every screen in this game has something magical waiting to be discovered, which is also why it's kind of hard to talk about what makes this game amazing without downright spoiling the enchantment that comes with discovering all of these things for yourself. I thought I experienced the majority of this game when I rolled credits, and then the first video I watched about it was filled with like new areas I had never seen before. This is such a crazy, unique world filled with wonder, and the art style perfectly reflects that, but I think easily my favorite part of this game is the sound design. So eerie yet comforting in a way. Like you're playing a nostalgic game, but it's dark and past your bedtime. Other games give you guns and swords. This game gives you a slinky and a frisbee and says, fucking figure it out, asshole. And I love it. I mean, I've played games like this before, but nothing that captures the specific energy that this game is able to capture. You can feel the influence of the genre and the respect that it has for it, but it also is innovative and fucking weird. Because it understands the genre so well, it can break the rules and build on them in a way that only somebody who really understands game design can do. Billy Basso is a fucking genius for this game. He made his own fucking engine to create it. The dedication shows in every single fucking pixel in this game. No two people will experience this game in the same way. There are too many little mysteries to solve and secrets to uncover, which is also why it's so fun to talk about it with other people, because no two people will have the same journey. Play Animal Well. It is charming. It is worth it. You will like it. And it's also a game that proves if one person's vision is good enough, it's kind of all you need. All right, I'm getting rid of the vest. That's the conclusion. We can keep the hat, but I was trying to look like an explorer character for this video, because like animals and like safari and shit, but best I could do was like Republican fisherman. Once again, I have ranted and rambled us into a mess of opinions. And that's the conclusion now. Movies and books and music, I think they all have the potential for individual people to take the world by storm. But indie gaming has always been like a proving ground for weird fuckers to rise to the top by pursuing these weird ideas that they're really passionate about. And for one person to tackle making something as complex as a Metroidvania by themselves is insane. But I'm so glad we have Animal Well, and I'm so glad Billy Basso was insane enough in the first place to tackle something like this. This game took 7 years to make. I am 21 years old. Bro started making this shit when I was 14. And the dedication clearly shows. And I'm so happy that we have somebody who is using their massive platform to promote awesome visions like this. In an industry of endless copies and unoriginality and people not understanding game design and capitalizing on all these homogenous trends that are popular, something as refreshingly original as this is just such a breath of fresh air. Thank you, Billy. Thank you, Jason. And thank you to all of these other indie developers who are keeping this original spirit of gaming alive and well. Fucking roll credits. We're not gonna talk about what my hair is doing right now. We're just gonna. What the fuck? Thank you for watching. Did you have fun? I had fun. I made a big ass video in February where I was like, I'm gonna grind and post more, and then college whooped my ass, and so here I am on the other side of that, making videos again, and I am happy about it. The lighting sucks. We're not gonna. This whole shot sucks. Just let me have something, man. Yeah, I got on my ass about everything, bro. Fuck. Feels good to be back into the swing of things, though. I really appreciate all the support that you guys leave, obviously. There's been some subscriber decay over the past 6 months, which is so fair because I haven't posted jack shit. But I'm back on the grind. I'm back on the horse. We're making new shit. I got some weird shit that I'm like cooking up in this stew right now. No spoilers. Thank you to all of you lovely people at home who continue to support me in my grind. I know it's a small community we got over here, but it's a community nonetheless, and that's what's important. Thank you, appreciate you, love you, drive safe. Eat your vegetables if you want to, if they're kind of icky, like, you know, I'm not gonna stop you. Expect more things on the horizon, and I mean that this time. I mean it this time. I don't mean it this I'll catch y'all on the flip. This is fucking, I can't believe I'm back doing this bullshit again.